My name is Adam Porzak with Porzak Golf, taking your game to the next level and beyond. We got a treat for you guys today. Will Stribling is truly one of the coolest guys we've worked with. This golf swing is unbelievable, you guys. It's so on play and it's ridiculous. All we have to work on is just remaining connected and using impeccable rhythm to do so. We hope you guys enjoy this lesson. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
So should I be stood up a little more, driver? Yeah, just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Still on my toes, though? Like out?
Out a little bit, but you can sit back with a little bit of flex for me there. Yeah, there we go. I mean, are you doing that often?
I mean, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. I mean, that's like...
I mean, a lot of the time it is like that. But it's... You know, I show up and hit one that way. And it adds 2 to 3 shots to my score. And I'm like, well... It's a 72 that was more like a 69.
Well, the reason I rushed over here, if anything, the ball position just gets a little bit back of where the shoulder is. So I'm going to show you something here. Let me grab the club. Yeah, so here's the thing. If I extend this out right on my shoulder line, perpendicular to my feet,
Yep.
I mean, that's where you want.
Okay, so
That's-
it's almost out practically in front of you.
Well, it's not necessarily, because if you have the insides of your feet to the outsides of your shoulder,
Yeah.
and then you have the ball on the inside of your foot, that would be right off your left shoulder.
Yeah.
And that just allows for the club to, arrive with the loft it needs to have, relative to the center of the body.
That makes sense.
Just right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you get back here a little bit and you make a good swing, that's what traps that golf ball down and makes it go low.
Yeah.
And then also can make it go hard to the right if you just don't square it up perfectly. The good news is typically it takes the big hook out of play,
Yep.
unless you're doing something, that day where it just,
Yeah.
but you'll get a big right shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll kind of walk you through the setup on this one. Just have a little process for yourself about the way that you get your left foot aligned with the, good, so yeah, it's good. Yeah, there you go, right there, because you want it right up here.
Yep.
Okay.
It's almost there.
Yeah, and that weight should be a little bit more kind of settled back in there.
Oh, really?
Well, no, not like that though. Watch this.
Wait.
When I bump,
Uh-huh.
that's going up, but my upper body just
Okay.
staying back, and it actually it's not a lateral move.
Uh-huh.
It's just
It's
getting
like tilting, yeah.
the left hip a little bit higher,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that sets the spine angle because the hips and the spine
Yep. Are
perpendicular, right?
Yep.
So a little bit of that will weigh you correctly to where you're already in a position to load into your right side.
Okay.
Let's get
That
you a little more
makes sense.
behind the
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
so you
yeah.
can hit up on it, right?
Because I think I've always done lateral and then back and then like here.
Yeah.
So
Just get the right setup there. Yep, there you go. There you go. See what that does?
oh my god. That's gonna go way further too.
I know, that's what I was going to try. I was going to tell you that.
Okay. See, it was still flying where it would have been dropping.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing. When the ball is just a little bit back and the weight's a little bit left, you're just already, think about it, you're a little out in front of it.
Yeah.
It's relative to like throwing a punch. If you're already this way and rotated, it's not going to be as hard as if you were loaded and all the way connected and you can just deliver it together, right? So the big thing, I think that's the best analogy you could probably give.
Yeah.
In baseball, same thing, out in your front foot or not.
Yep.
But here, you're presetting it so that when you pop this left hip up, it drops the spine back.
Yep.
From there, you're set to turn behind the ball. And then you have the space you need to have the club arriving up a little bit. For you, it's a good thing. We have some players, we have to feel like they have to feel like they hit down because they hit up so much.
Yeah.
But your swing is kind of down on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if your ball's back, that's why you would smother those and then block some out right.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that ball flight was just
And
perfect.
that might be also why I'm under if I'm trying to hit up on it.
Absolutely, because you can't attack it from where you are.
So I'm forced to go under in order to get up on it.
Right,
My
so-
swing path is 8 degrees out the next thing I know. It's a true story.
Yep, that's what happened. So, no, hey, listen, it's just, I think that for you right now, you just have to do what you just did. Get the same process. Get the ball position in the same spot. Hip up, weight back. There you go. Yeah, it's close. It's out of the middle, just a little bit right. But I like you having a little, listen, you can have a fairway finder that you hit down a little bit if you need to. Kind of little tiny fade.
Yeah.
But if you want to hit the big one that you're capable of and still hitting straight, I think, with your swing, that's the feeling you have to have.
Yeah.
And just sweep it back. There you go.
That's the key.
See the key?
Tempo on top of it. That thing's going to go forever.
Earlier in the lesson, I kind of was talking about when we grab the driver, I'm going to kind of have you just think about sweeping it back, right?
Yep.
And that was just knowing your swing. It's a great, great tip for you to not pick the club up immediately in the takeaway and have the hands be faster than the body. Just to be a little bit smoother. Everything pushes back more in sequence. Yeah, no, it's going dead straight with a little tiny 1 yard draw. It just started a few yards right. Yeah, just a little underneath it. Club was a little behind you on that one. Just go out there, and it doesn't matter how easy it is. You just do just go through the process. Because here's how I like to approach it. For sure, you're playing to win. Every time you're playing to win. But I'm excited because you're just getting back into it and just to go out and compete.
Yeah.
Just see just put this into play.
Yeah.
And execute. You know, go around the golf course, plan it out. If you're standing straight up and down, insteps, outsides of shoulders. It's just hiking this left hip up like an inch.
Yep.
Just places that weight right on the instep, little on the outstep. And you can see it just drops. I'm not trying to go like this. Bless you, dude.
Thank you. Wipe it out.
It's not this. It's that.
Yep.
And this is a great tip as well. If I let my arms hang, my hand should hang on the outside of my right knee. It shouldn't be that way.
Yep.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm
Yep.
right? Yeah, it's all you need. Perfect. Then exactly. Now you're perfect.
There?
Yes. Better ball flight though.
Yep.
Way better ball flight.
I might have to get used to fading the ball.
I don't believe you will, like, overall. I mean, it'll be back and forth. It'll be either one you want.
Okay.
Your swing's right on the verge of being able to, if you just think about it, it's going to do what you want it to do.
Okay.
Like, just hit a draw without overdoing it.
Yeah.
Try to hit a draw right here.
Okay.
Like, perfect, right?
Yep.
So you need to, with a swing like that, that's so just right down the line every time. You need to think about hitting shots out here after you get your setup dialed in.
Yep.
You just have to, in my opinion, start picturing. Okay, this is a draw. You're not just hitting it to hit it and seeing where it goes. You need to dictate where it goes.
Yep.
And yeah. So, I mean, that's
Hitting
it.
it to hit it and see where it goes.
Yeah, that's right. But that sounds right. Correct? I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We just get stuck hitting it, and you're like, oh, let's see where it goes. No, I'm going to hit a 1 yard draw right there. I'm going to hit that's what we need to do, because at your level and the way you play, we need to go out and be able to do that on the golf course on holes that require certain shots.
Yeah.
Here, it's the same thing. I think we just get stuck hitting it, and it's good. You hit some really solid shots out of the middle of the face that just a little bit right, a little bit right, and then a couple of them are incredible. Well, that one right there, you thought about a shot, you executed it perfectly. I would just do that more often.
Yeah.
Then there's an intent. Start it there, end it there. Yeah. I mean, that's literally as good as you can hit a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as good as anybody can hit a driver, really. As far as getting the most out of your swing, and that was it.
Yeah.
Gosh, is that good. So if you guys think about it, setup and rhythm. Setup and rhythm. It's the same shot.
And by the way, I think it's easier for the rhythm if the setup is right.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Because when you set up wrong,
You got to compensate later.
you have to do something wrong in order to hit it right.
And when you're going
And when-
10 miles an hour, it's hard.
Just think, it's definitely the smart way to go about it. Get that setup dialed in.
Is that height normal?
There it is.
Oh,
That's the draw I was looking for.
that just ripped.
Nice.
The beginning of the day was the shorter the shot, more pre-setting as much as we possibly could to get the angle of attack we needed, so we'd had to do the least, right? But having that good rhythm, knowing the spot you need to take it back in order to produce a certain yardage,
Yep.
that was successful. The way that you worked at your wedges, kind of a stop, go drill, that's a good one. That just helps do everything right. But yeah, then the big thing with the irons and with the driver has just been, after setup, it's just been all about making sure the arms just don't get caught up a little bit behind the body. How we worked on that was making sure the backswing was more complete with better rhythm, right? So it really boils down to just working at the same stuff over and over, and making sure that it's just, it's good setup, same pace every time. That's doing what you can to control it the most, and then we can work through. It's easier to work. It's easier when you have good rhythm too. Like as you mentioned, Dad said it was easier to have good rhythm when you had a good setup. It's also easier to make changes and do things correctly when you have good rhythm,
Yeah.
right? If you're going fast, it's nearly impossible to fix things that you need to get done, right? And that's where I think it's just important we get that dialed in. So let's keep going. It's good, buddy. That is just like so good, bud.
Yeah.
Every one though just gives you that reaction when he hits it. You're just like, oh man, that's just so pure. Every component of the game has gotten better.
Yep.
So,
I can see.
no, for me it's just, you know how it is. You just have to go compete and get used to that feeling again.
Yep.
Get back into it. Hey Will, you expect, when you play, you expect the best, but you're prepared for the worst. What I mean by that is just something happens after a couple holes. Big deal. Just birdie the next one. Play the next hole the best way you can. I mean, that's the only way to go about it. Just keep plugging away at what it is you're trying to do. Because it's great. I mean, your swing's great. And we just keep working on, as I was talking to Dad, the components. We get down to the short game area. You keep working on your short putts and just making sure that those stay sharp. If putting's off, you still make putts all the time inside 5 feet. That's what we do, right? It's not like putting's off and we miss everything.
Yes. You just don't make any of the long.
You just don't make anything from maybe 10 feet that day or 15 feet or 20 feet,
Yeah.
but you make everything inside 5 feet.
And then
That's
hit
just,
the ball well and chip well, and you still shoot.
hey, we're hitting some fairways. We're hitting a lot more fairways than not. We're striking it as consistently as you are right now. Your wedge control gets better, which it has dramatically.
Yeah.
The putting was maybe one of the biggest changes as well. And the chipping. Our whole short. I mean, when you talk about the short game, I mean, that's 70% of your game inside 70 yards right there. So that alone, that getting better right there is going to just drastically improve your score over time, right? That's why right now it's just important you go out and be competitive and just give yourself the best chance. And just because everything is getting better, good. Expect yourself to do well. But if you somehow are not after a few, you're just being patient and you're just dealing with it. You're dealing with it.
Yeah.
And not letting it get worse. You just stop the bleeding, get the most you can out of that round,
Yep.
come back the next day, do better. Okay, cool. Let's hit a couple more. This guy's fun to watch. Isn't it cool? That ball flight just so tight, but like one of the best. I mean, is that not just... That's just so good. Such a tight ball flight. I was just telling Gabe back here. That's what's so nice to watch about it. It just has a real tight ball flight where the spin on it is just, it's really good. Really good. Just so controlled. Love it, dude. I love it. You know, another component of this to getting better with, you know, even driving accuracy is knowing where to work on certain things. You know, to me, chipping area is fine for a while, but getting on the golf course, putting balls everywhere around the green, in between holes and whatnot, the practicing on the golf course part of it is really key. Yeah. It's one thing on the range. I like going out there with 5 balls and just teeing up 5 on 4 or 5 different tee boxes, different looks. Just go out there. I think that's a great way to go after it. Yeah. Just like wedge distance control. It's one thing to get the process down here, control the 2 variables on the driving range. But when you go to the golf course, you're hitting your golf ball, you're getting an actual yardage that you're really hitting to, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that certain places you want to do certain parts of your work, and I think that'll help you a ton as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson with Will. As you can see, he truly has an incredible game, great golf swing. Please, any questions you guys have, leave them below. Also, click the link in our description to pick up your free video course. We're here to make you guys better.